Welcome to Soccer As We Like It, the Man United direction. As you know, we are talking about ownership. We're talking about Degea. We're talking about Mason Mount. We're talking about Sancho. Joining me today from Denver and Houston Red Army, Denver Red Army, Louis. Welcome to the Friday show. Louis, how are you? Long time no see.
Very, very good, Tim. It's been too long, my man. It's been
How you
way
been,
too
brother?
long.
You good?
Oh, yeah, man. You know how we do. Always
Mm.
busy over here.
We now have a fellow treble team with us. You know, it's two teams that now have the treble.
Yeah, man. One thing that no one can deny, man. Manchester produces the best soccer in England. Let me tell you,
I mean,
we
well,
produce
we
the
held
best
the we held
team.
the record for 24 years. Not bad, you
It's
know.
not that's not a bad record, my man. And
No,
we'll
24
always.
years.
It's like Beckham said, man. We'll always be the first.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We'll always be the first.
Qatar. As of yesterday, Reuters, the news agency, one of the best in the world, have said that Qatar are now heading into the exclusivity agreement part, which means when you get to that point, there's no going back. It means you're
Hmm.
the only one they're dealing with. Can Sir Jim come back with another bid?
Yes.
Ineos.
Yes, he could. And that's the worst part about it, right? Is the exclusivity deal is not set, right? It's something that Qatar are like negotiating for. They're trying to force the exclusivity deal. The Glazers early on in this process said that there would be no exclusivity deal. That's a weird word to say, but basically there was going to be no exclusive deal. They said that early on, which allowed the Sir Jim in Qatar to come back and forth with all these new bids. So look, I think that Sheikh Jassim is I think he's over it. I think he's getting to the point where he's like, look, man, this
Take
is
it or
this is
leave it.
like take it or leave it. Is like we can negotiate, but this whole thing of going back and forth with a third party, trying to throw in bids and trying to outbid, like that's shit's getting old. I think it's getting old. I think they're tired of it, and I mean, frankly, at this point, our transfer window is screwed.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it's going to be extremely rough seas for us again. Um, we only have the Glazers to blame, and I mean,
Again.
frankly, look,
Again.
yeah, and I mean, and I said it. Well, we talked about this a while back now, but
Right.
I was like, look, man, when the deal is done, they're gonna tell us the deal is done. You know what I mean?
Makes
But
sense.
at this point,
Makes sense.
it's anybody's guess, man.
Right.
You see it everywhere. I see that like Qatar is done deal or is gonna be signed on Tuesday. And it's nobody knows.
Mm, mm,
Nobody knows. And
mm.
and 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 Sir Jim could easily come back with another bid and throw us 2-3 more weeks down the line. It's getting old, man.
It is. I don't blame you. Um, and so as it stands, the Qataris seem a bit more confident than they've been in the last couple of weeks. Um, some of the people that were supporting Sir Jim seem to be switching sides now and flip-flopping to the Qatari side. And the pro Jims, which is some of the UK media houses, are beginning to like Sir Jim is about to hold up his white flag, like I surrender. But we
Yeah,
we as
everybody wants
fans, God,
yeah, everybody wants a piece of Manchester United, right? So all those people that were saying, "Oh, Qatar this, Qatar that, oh, the morals, the this,"
mm-hmm,
the second Qatar announces that they're the new owners,
mm,
then of course everybody will jump on. Everybody will
mm,
jump on board. Everybody will jump on the wagon. Everybody wants everybody wants a piece of the locker room. Everyone wants a piece of the administration. It's look, it's one of the biggest brands in the world up there with Visa and Coca-Cola, man. Like this is what we do. So yeah, I don't get too worried about the flip floppers. I think at the end of the day, the best thing is anything but Glazers. And yeah, man, I do think that Qatar gives us the best possible option to compete at the highest levels, definitely. But at the end of the day, man, as long as it's not the Glazers, which of course it's looking like if Sir Jim is the guy, then the Glazers stick around, don't they?
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we don't want that.
No, nobody wants that. Nobody wants
So
that. Honestly, if I was an advisor in Ineos, I'd be telling Sir Jim, I'd be like, dude, don't do it. Don't get into bed with the guys. Because it's not gonna work out.
no, it's not. But obviously, he's so desperate that he's prepared to go in bed with the Glazers. And this is the funny thing. If Qatari, they said even if this thing goes through the Qataris, it takes another 8 weeks before everything's completed, which literally takes us into literally August.
Yeah, no, the season will start. The
So
transfer.
they said the season will start with the Glazers still in charge, but probably 2-3 weeks into the season, I mean, so who's going to be in charge of the transfers after that point?
Phil
The
Jones.
Glazers.
Yeah, no,
It'll still be the Glazers, right?
no, yeah, it's going to be the Glazers. Like ultimately, they're still going to have the decision because until the paper is signed on the dotted line, they still own they still control 69% of the assets of this club.
That's one last screw. Like, I'm just gonna put this last stab wood into you.
Yeah, and we called it. Yeah, when this deal was supposed to be done and dusted in March, you know, we said in February.
We're now in June. Bloody hell,
like, there's no way this deal is done in March. And then of course we were hoping that it would be done, if not,
April.
If not by the beginning of summer, early summer. Here we are halfway into June, and it's too late. It's too late. No matter if the Qataris announce that they're taking over on Monday morning, by the time the lawyers have had their say and everybody's crossed their T's and dotted their I's, it's that the whole process does not happen overnight. It's a long, drawn out legal process. You're talking around $6 billion transfer of wealth. I mean, it's not going to be an easy deal. And the Qatari group, Sheikh Jassim, might have, they might be able to input their opinions into what they think the transfer window should look like. They should say, hey, back Ten Hag however he needs, and maybe they can figure that out in the closing cost. I don't know.
That'd be great. That would be great. But we'll just
that's
have to
a perfect world. But in the real world, it's most likely what's going to happen is that the Glazers they'll get Rabiot on a free. They might grab someone else on a free or a loan deal. They won't get any
quality.
They won't get quality. And we'll have to kick that can down the road until we'll struggle for another season before the Qataris can really have their mark in January and in the following summer.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, it really is just one more big middle finger towards the fan base and the city of Manchester, because ultimately what the Qataris bring is infrastructure within Manchester, within hotels and city development and youth development and all these kinds of things. So yeah, man, it's a huge middle finger to the entire city of Manchester. And no, man, the Glazers can't get out any faster, man. They really, really can't.
Right. So David Degea, Saudi Arabia. Initially, he was supposed to be getting a new contract from Man United, a contract which brings him a lower pay cut. He's currently on 375 a week, the highest paid footballer in United, the highest paid goalkeeper in the world. He's negotiated the contract for him to stay at United, means he's going to earn 200 to 250. Now, Saudi Arabia have come calling. Now, United seem to have got the knickers in a twist. The fact of the matter is, they were not planning to buy another goalkeeper yet. Now, if the girl goes, they're forced to bring Henderson back, or they don't even have money. They did not budget to buy Onana or the goalkeeper from Porto. who could play the ball from the back.
Yeah, right. And it's a really weird situation with Degea, isn't it? I'm not exactly sure what the most recent holdups were within his contract, but for everything that he's done for the club, for the trophies that he's won, for his tenure, you know, for the things he had to put up with within the media, within the fan base, and the people that say that he's either not good enough or he's not at the level, and you know, all the things that he's been through and all the things that he's done. If the man can get a paycheck in Saudi, man, go get your paper, go get your money, man. And go with grace, because look, man, David Degea will always be a legend of this club. David Degea will always be a legend of this club, and ultimately he is a player, one of the few players that deserves to get the things in his contract that he wants. He deserves to be taken care of. He agreed to take a pay cut because he is entering the beginning stages of no longer being the United #1 goalkeeper.
Yes,
right.
Ten Hag did say that you will be at this club, but I cannot guarantee you will be #1.
And honestly, I think even if he was not the #1 goalkeeper, I think that he really has a lot to still offer this club.
I think he still does. I think.
Oh yeah, whether that is as a rotational goalkeeper or whether that is as a mentor towards younger goalkeepers. If he can help develop those young players and guide those young players, I think that there is so much that he can still offer the club, and I think it's worth having him around, and I think it's worth figuring out that contract, and he deserves it. He's earned it. You know, he's earned it over several
time.
years. And if he was still our #1 goalkeeper next season, I'd be happy.
Right.
I would be extremely happy, and I think he just offers us something better than Henderson. I think Henderson is struggled to find his place. We have had a bad run with our last couple of second goalkeepers, right?
Well, yeah.
With Henderson, with Romero, and giving these players, you know, solid game time and high level games, not just second division or third division cup games and these kinds of things, but you know, give them these players, they want to play Champions League, you know, they want to play against Arsenal, City and the like. But honestly, David Degea has been the best option that we have had in that position. And yeah, maybe his game does not fit Ten Hag's style, and maybe that means that Ten Hag has to find someone to carry the torch down the line. But by no means is David Degea washed up, or is he incapable of being the #1 goalkeeper in this squad, especially next season. Right. He's the best shot stopper in the league.
He is the best shot stopper.
Nobody can say that he's not the best shot stopper in the league, because he has.
No, he's not. He is. He is. He will always be. So that is where United fans are in division. Whereby, right, should he go? Should he be the next #2? Is there another goalkeeper to replace him? Oh, all of a sudden, he's going to Saudi Arabia. Like, we didn't see this coming. And that's where United fans are a bit confused. These are the same guys who are bashing him after the games against Sevilla. And I think he probably has had enough of the press constantly slandering his name and saying he's done. They can't keep highlighting his mistakes, FA Cup, Sevilla game, all those malarkey and all that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And hopefully this resolved quick, because we don't have 50 million to buy a keeper, because it wasn't on the plan.
What it is just another failure of Richard Arnold, of the leadership, and the people that are supposed to be in charge of retaining players, keeping players, keeping players happy, keeping, and just having a good business sense and having the sense of how to run this club. Like, we knew that his contract was expiring. We knew that, there's been some ongoing negotiations. We understand that. But at the end of the day, you just said it. We don't have the 50 million to just go out and buy a keeper. Not when we have to not when we have to buy a center back, not when we have to
By a
buy a
striker.
midfielder, not when we have to buy a striker. You
So
know,
he's literally thrown United's plans into disrepute at this point.
I don't think they had a plan. I think that they've been kicking this can down the road. I think that they dragged their feet. It's exactly how John Munter's Richard Arnold. This is how they've gone in towards the transfer windows as well. They don't start their negotiations in May like Liverpool do, like Chelsea do, like Arsenal do. They don't reach out to agents and contact players and start inquiring with clubs ahead of time. So when the transfer window does open, we can't get our first choices because they've already been committed elsewhere. They've been talking to PSG, to Liverpool, to all these
Real
clubs
Madrid.
for 3-4 months already.
See, Bellingham is going to Real Madrid.
Jude
Signed,
Bellingham,
delivered.
all of our targets that we've ever had or that Ten Hag has expressed interest in, we drag our feet in reaching out to these players. So we don't make contact. Then the transfer windows opens, and then okay, we don't get our first choice. We get attached to some big name marquee signing that takes 3-4 months to negotiate with the club. Then we get towards the end of the transfer window. It takes the whole 2 months of the summer. We get to the end of the transfer window. That deal falls apart because we don't have any money, or we refuse to pay certain wages, or they just don't want to come. If you're Frankie De Jong, then at the end of the transfer window, they go, "Oh, Ten Hag, sorry, mate. Yeah, drop the ball on that." What about Wout Weghorst? Wout Weghorst, that worked for you?
I know,
Yeah.
right? The
what
third
about,
and the fourth choice.
Yeah, what about this guy on a free? What about this guy that nobody's
Abu
ever heard
Bakr.
of? So it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me with the way that they handle the transfer window that they can't handle contract negotiations with players that are already within the club.
Right.
The fact that they can't handle that, man, it's just, man, Sheikh Jassim, save us, man.
We need
save
the
us.
saving.
Come in
Then
and start firing people, man.
Yeah.
Because this is too much.
Incompetence.
And we have blown another transfer window, and it's not even halfway over.
Right.
It's a farce, man. It's
right. Harry Kane, United have pulled out from trying to get Harry Kane because Daniel Levy has said 120 million for a Premiership side, 100 million from a team outside the Premier League.
And he doesn't want to go to a team outside the Premier League.
Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go abroad. He's not worth 120 million. And frankly, I'm happy. Because what I did not want to do is what we did with Frankie De Jong and chase Harry Kane all the way up until, July 27th. And then we go, oh, God, we need to find a striker. And then Højlund's already been bought. And Osimhen has already been bought.
Right.
This is a blessing. This is a blessing. I'm glad they pulled out.
Right. Mason Mount, United have pulled out as well. Chelsea won 70 million and add-ons. United said 55 is the max.
Yeah, I don't think he's worth going after for that price. I think the 40 million that we offered was fair. Maybe there's some wiggle room in there. Maybe you get like 45, 48, but I don't think you pay 55 million for him.
They want 70.
Yeah, no, you definitely You definitely don't do that. Hell no. And look, I mean, and honestly, I don't think Chelsea honestly thinks that that's what his value is, but I think they're desperate.
He's British.
Yeah. Boris Johnson is British. Doesn't mean he needs to play football. You know what I'm saying?
Then there is Sancho. Spurs said they'll take 50 million for Sancho. Man United said no. It's got to be more than 60 million.
Fine, make it 51. Get his ass out. Get the check. Get the check. Get the check.
Wow, you want him out this season?
Look, it's not about wanting him out. I think Goldbridge said this best. If he's worth, I don't know, what are we asking? 50, 60 million, whatever. If he's worth 50 million this season, he ain't gonna be worth 50 million next season.
No.
He ain't about to go off and win the Golden Boot.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't about to go off and be the assist leader of the year.
No.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. The more we sit on him, the harder it is to sell him when we realize it doesn't work out.
Right.
You know,
so it's gonna keep diminishing and depreciating.
We drove the car off the lot, man. We drove the car off the lot, and look, man, that car ain't getting any newer. That's not a classic car. You know, the valuation ain't going up. You know, the carburetor's busted, and there's a weird knocking noise in the engine block. Nah, man, it ain't working. It ain't working. We tried, and look, there were some really good moments. He's had some good moments for us, but it's not enough, and it's too inconsistent, and you're just not at the level, man.
Right. Harry Maguire said he will fight for his position.
What position?
He's going to stay and fight.
For fifth choice striker?
Because Erik ten Hag did say he's a good professional. He trains very well. His attention to detail in training is very professional. He admires him. But how do you fight with a player like Varane, who is fantastic? These are the exact words ten Hag did. How do you fight with a player who's fantastic, who has won 4 Champions Leagues?
Look, man, and I don't understand.
So he literally told Harry Maguire, "It's your call."
That's a bad,
and he said he's gonna fight.
That's a bad decision, man. Like, at some point, somebody has to be honest with Harry Maguire, and I don't think that it doesn't seem to me like anybody's being honest with him.
I don't think so.
Someone needs to sit him down and go, "You are the 5th choice center back, 5th choice behind Martinez. Even when he's injured, you're still 5th choice. Varane, Lindelof, Shaw, and then you." That's our center back.
He said he's gonna fight his way back. I don't know how. I don't know how he's thinking it, but either he's trying to bluff or save. He's trying to say, like, you know, this team's in Champions League. Maybe this team, it looks like they're gonna. I think he in his mind is thinking, we shake Jazzy in, we're gonna get players, we're gonna win Champions League. I want to be able to win some trophies because I've only got Carling Cup after half of my career nearly over. I got 1 Carling Cup medal. I want to get more.
You've seen Monty Python, right? The Holy Grail.
Yeah.
You've seen the Black Knight when King Arthur cuts off all his limbs, and he's like, "Come back here, I'll still fight you. I'll gnaw your legs out." Like, mate, it's over. Both your arms and your legs is chopped off. You ain't gonna bite nobody's legs off, man. Like, you're done. You're done. There's no fighting back. Where was the fight when the whole of England and the senators in South Africa were making fun of you on the parliament floor?
I know, right?
Where was the fight then? At that point, you got on Twitter and you said, "Oh, I don't have to prove myself." No, dude, it's over. It's over. It's done. It's done. There's no fighting your way back because you're not good enough. You're not fast enough. You're not technical enough. You can't pass well. You're not good in the air, which is what we bought you for. We bought you because everybody said your head was effing massive and you were going to score goals with your head. How many, what has it been? 2 goals since 2017? I don't know. Most of the goals you scored have been in your own net. And again, your value is just depreciating. It's just like Sancho. Like, yeah, we bought you at 80 million. Like, sell him for 30.
What would you value Maguire at now, English money? He's English. He plays for England. He's an English starter. What would you value him at?
$5. $5 and a bus ride home. Pay for his bus fare. Look, man, and this is something that's been consistent with us. Like, we paid 80 million for Harry Maguire, and then we say, "Oh, we can't sell him for 40 or 50 million because then it's a loss." again, he's not going to be worth 80 million next year. He's not going to be worth 80 million in January.
Just like Sancho.
It's exactly right. Take the loss. It was a bad business decision. It was a bad.
Seemed to be a lot of bad business.
Thought it was gonna look. We thought it was gonna be a good choice. I was excited when Harry Maguire came into the squad. I thought he was going to be a good player. I did not realize that he was only comfortable in a back five. I did not realize that his left foot is out of is no foot there. It's just a wooden block. I didn't know that at the time. You know, I didn't know that the reason his forehead is so big is because there's a steel plate in there. I didn't know. Now we bought the fancy shiny car, and we realized that, oh, the paint job was new, but everything under the hood was the same. Like it's a bad move. Get rid of the car. Take it down to the junkyard and get rid of it. If you get 30 million for him, just take the loss. Take the 30 million.
Oh,
I would rather we take 30 million for Maguire and go buy a 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid with some fight in him, with some potential, and develop and build a young center back. Dealing with this guy, it's too much. It's too much. It's over. Bye.
On that note, on that great note, Louis, you are something else. That's why people say we need to get Louis back. Oh boy, that was funny. Well, you know, they always say, if you don't tell someone, like you said, if you don't tell someone you're really bad, they keep thinking they're really good. Like he said, I don't have to prove myself to anybody. When legends, Ronaldo, Cantona said, the minute you wear that shirt, you cross that line week in, week out onto the pitch. You have to prove yourself. And this buffoon says, I don't need to prove myself. It's not like you're a world beater or you're one of the greatest defenders. No, you're not. So you see the mentality. So I think the people around him are telling him he's that good. And that's what his belief is on hype.
I think that, yeah, no, 100%. I think that he's been surrounded by people that want to be part of Manchester United, that want to be part of the England national squad, you know, that want to be in that circle. And I think that they keep telling him he's good. I don't understand where these managers get off saying that he still deserves the spots. Like, I don't understand why Southgate continues to pick him. I don't understand why Ten Hag looks at him and says, oh, well, he's really good in training. Okay. Like, the absolute worst player on the team, he might show up an hour early. He might stay an hour late. You know, he might come in and help the kit man fold the towels. And he helps pump the balls, and he helps get everybody organized. He might even lead the warm-up. But this is the Premier League. This is the Champions League. If you cannot perform, I'm sorry, man. As good as you are, as nice as you are, you know, as long as you've been here, it doesn't work anymore. It's over. We are trying to compete at the highest level. We just got our fucking treble taken. We're at DEFCON 1. You know, we have something to prove. And look, dude, you're not it. And that can be said about a Jadon Sancho, who I like. I do. And I think back towards, you know, the Dortmund days and the things that he did do as a player, as like a 1v1 specialist. But now I look at him and I don't see that anymore. I don't think he knows what to do in a 1v1 situation. I don't think he can read the game fast enough. I don't think he makes decisions fast enough. I don't think he fights enough. So yeah, dude, it's over. You know, I really like Fred. Fred looks like the nicest guy you possibly could ever meet. He's not the one to take us down the line. And if somebody came with a serious offer in the summer, I would say, dude, thank you so much. We loved having you, but we're moving in a different direction. You know what I mean? Like serious
I completely agree.
serious changes need to be made. And honestly, this is why we want Qatar. Because if we want the open heart surgery that Ranić was talking about, 10 in, 10 out, we need someone that's cutthroat in that position, which Richard Arnold, John Martin are not. You know, we need somebody that can splash the cash and say, okay, you want 10 players? We'll get 10 players over 3 transfer windows. Easy. We'll sell 10, bring in 10. You know, or even over 2 transfer windows. We'll get you your 10. We'll solve it. We'll figure it out. You know, right now we're just not in a position where we can do that, and it's extremely frustrating and it's extremely unfortunate, because the longer this whole debacle with the new round of bids and opening it up and accepting new bids and kicking the can, and we're going, we're staying, but only a little bit. Like, nah, man, nah. This is Manchester United, dude. The ship is turning really,
and you
really
have to
hard.
turn with it. You see how when Pep goes in there, he didn't like, oh, Joe Hart is the England goalkeeper. You know, he's won a league title, previous 2 league titles with previous man. He just like, you know, not my type.
Yeah.
He didn't say you have a choice to stay or go. No, I'm making the choice. You're done.
Yeah.
We need to be more brutal and more cutthroat. All this sentimental crap got to stop.
In Pep's team, in Pep's system, with maybe the exception of De Bruyne, nobody is safe.
True.
Nobody's job is safe next season.
No.
You know, there's always somebody that is either nipping at your heels from the club, competing for your spot, or there is someone somewhere else in the world scoring 40 goals a season that Pep is going, I like that guy. You know, and look, and they have, you know, oil-backed ownership. They have super ultra wealthy ownership that is willing to splash the cash, that is willing to take on 115 charges of financial fair play charges against them and say, we'll figure it out. You know, man, that's hard to beat.
That's hard to beat, mate.
That's extremely hard to beat.
But hopefully, with this ownership, fingers crossed,
next
we'll
season
get there. We should be able to be right. Louis, it's been an absolute pleasure once again. Good to see you again on our Friday night show. We'll chat again during the week and see if any breaking news has come through. You know, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Louis, you got what your plan this weekend? Anything for your boys, or your season's over for you guys?
Nah, we're broken for the season. So right now it's just a bit of technical training, and then my summer programs run throughout the summer. So I'm just overseeing all of that. But little bit of downtime, but definitely no breaks yet.
All right, Louis, it's been an absolute pleasure. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Louis, I will see you very soon. Take care for you, brother. I appreciate you. You take care. See you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.